What's up, everybody? This is Whisky in the Six. I'm Rob, doing a review of the Glenfiddich Bourbon Barrel Reserve. So this is aged in bourbon barrels for 14 years and then finished in new oak, heavily charred from Kentucky. So new American oak from Kentucky. Going to be nosing, tasting, giving this a mark. Not going to be live too long today. So this is going to be poured. I have another drink over here poured as well. All right. Like I said, 14 years in bourbon casks and then moved to a new oak American cask that's charred. It says on here, deep charred, new American oak barrel from Kentucky. All right. We got BB Jap in the house. What's going on, buddy? We got Whiskey Dong. How are you, my friend? Doing a quick review tonight, guys. Not going to be live too long. We got 8 people in the chat. Unannounced, but you guys know I go live on Thursdays, so not too much of a surprise. I like to do my lives in the kitchen. I get to watch some TV and, well, this is kitchen / living room, I guess you can say. What's going on, Mike? How are you, buddy? 10 people in the chat. Gonna nose this, taste it, and give it a mark. And if you're just joining, it's aged for 14 years in bourbon barrels, then moved to newly charred virgin oak cask, basically from Kentucky. It's American oak. This one's pretty cool. I actually recently tried it. Actually, I tried it a few years ago at a tasting. This was a while back when it first came out in the United States. It was American exclusive for a while. It was only available in the United States. Then after a little while, they started making it available to Canada as well. And I'm pretty sure it's available globally now. This is replacing the rich oak. So the 14-year-old rich oak. Not sure if you guys had a chance to try that one. 43%. And although it doesn't say natural color on box or on bottle, it actually kind of looks like it might be because, like I said, this is transferred to new oak. We don't know how long it's transferred to new oak for because it says it's 14 years old, and it also says that it's aged for 14 years in bourbon barrels. So I'm not exactly sure, but gonna nose it, taste it, give it a mark. Just want to say hello to the people in the chat. JK, what's going on, buddy? Great single malt, $67 in BC. Yeah, this is $69 at the LCBO, so a great price. This was actually gifted to me by my friend Beth, but a really solid price for a very good whiskey, okay? A whiskey that's a good night starter, in my opinion, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in just a sec. I think I got everybody in the chat. Oh, Go Habs is in the house. What's going on, buddy? You're saying Glenfiddich, #surprised. Yeah, you know what? Like I said, this was gifted to me by my friend Beth. But it's really good. It's actually a really good whiskey, and it's well priced. It's very well priced for what you get for a 14-year-old whiskey to be less than $70 or $70 exactly at the LCBO. That's kind of unheard of. It's bottled at 43%, so you're getting an extra 3% than we're used to from Glenfiddich, which is also very cool. Thomas Buck in the house. What's going on? So you can definitely tell to spend some time in bourbon casks. It's got that Glenfiddich distillery characteristic. It's not dominated by any sherry. Some nice apple notes for sure. Maybe a slight burnt apple kind of note, like a charred apple, like a barbecued apple. Nice oatmeal malty kind of note in there as well. What's up, Mark? How are you, buddy? Yeah, really nice. Some like light caramel notes. Las Vegas saying only 2 bottles left in all of BC at the government stores. Yeah, I wonder if they'll replace it. There's a bunch available at the LCBO. like I said, it's about $70. So it's a great deal for LCBO standards, in my opinion. For 14-year-old scotch, you don't really get less than $100. Okay. Really nice nose, very approachable, no peat. You're not getting like a ton of stuff going on. There's some vanilla in there, some caramel, like I said, some like charred apples, but not peat, more cask char than smoke. Richard, what's going on, buddy? Christopher David's in the house. All right, on the palate. Again, with that charred apple, moves into maybe a little bit of some other like stone fruits, maybe a little bit of peach. Definitely some vanilla, maybe like a peach custardy vanilla type flavor. Not a very long finish, pretty short finish actually. One more sip. Nice sweetness, super easy drinking. This is a night starter. So something inexpensive that you can get your palate going if you're gonna have some really high quality stuff. This is the kind of whiskey you want to have on your bar to get that going. Honestly, like I said, 43%, and there's nothing crazy going on here. It's 14 years in a bourbon cask, finished in a new oak cask to give some maybe extra flavor, extra color, but really nice. We're assuming those bourbon casks, those ex-bourbon casks are probably 2 or 3 times used, who knows? But overall, really nice. Not going to fight your palate at all. Going to prime you really well for a tasting night, in my opinion. As far as marks go, I'm getting some honey now actually on the finish. So the finish is lasting a little longer the second sip. As far as marks go, I'm going to give this one an 84. Okay, good stuff. For the price, I think it's quality. If I actually considered price in my mark, I would probably go higher on my mark for this one because it's quality for what you're paying. I think it's really good stuff. So that's an A- for me. Really good. I like it a lot. Yeah, 84. And great quality for price, like I said. All right. Let's move on to what you guys are drinking. What are you guys drinking tonight? Got some newer people joining the chat. Brian Page is saying, hey, Rob, have you tried the Old Forester 1920? I have not. I would like to, actually. I'm looking to buy a bottle of that very shortly. But I may have had a sample of that at some point. I don't know. It's so hard to keep track of the samples. That's the only problem. Yeah, there you go. Peter White, just under, if I kept reading, said, I gave him a sample last year, but he probably forgot. I definitely forgot. It's so hard to keep track of all the samples. Like Jeremy counted his samples recently, and I think he was in like the hundreds, like 200-300, maybe more. I've had probably the same amount, if not more, over the years come through this house. It's so hard to keep track of what we try, unless, honestly, that's why I started this channel, because it helps me document what I've actually tasted. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't remember it too well, but Peter loves it, and I usually trust his opinion when it comes to bourbon anyway. So Go Habs is saying 84, my HS graduation year. I am old. High school graduation year. That's the year I was born, 84. Rob has a review on it. What are we talking about? Glenfiddich 12 because it's only $28. No, that's not what he's talking about. Oh, Vegas is asking if I tried the Winter Storm. Yeah, and Brian Page is correct. I did have a review on that one. Good stuff. Not worth the price, in my opinion. This is honestly, I really like this. I like a lot of these special releases out of Glenfiddich, although the most recent ones weren't my favorite, to be honest with you. But I like this one a lot. I don't know if this is going to last that long. The 14-year-old Rich Oak wasn't a mainstay. It came for a little while and now it's gone. I don't know if I don't think they're producing I think it's discontinued actually, the 14-year-old Rich Oak. And this probably will follow suit eventually. So actually, if you're collecting the 14-year-olds, I would say that's not a bad idea because the Rich Oak was really good. Again, 43%, 14 years old. This one is 43%, 14 years old. And they're inexpensive. The Rich Oak was I think like $63 when it first came out at the LCBO. So not much more than the 12-year-old and substantially less than the 15-year-old. I think the 15-year-old is $80. So that's a great value because the 15-year-old is 40% if I'm not mistaken. Bunch of conversation going on in the chat. Whiskey Dong saying blind tasting with a friend of GTS, Stag Junior Batch 12 and Batch 13, and JD Single Barrel and JD Heritage Barrel. That sounds like a really cool blind tasting. Peter White said, I left your house one day with about a dozen samples. Yeah. I'm usually pretty generous with my samples. The last few times I met up with Peter, unfortunately, I wasn't able to pour out the samples because the evenings get pretty crazy over here in my house, putting the kids to bed, either my wife or myself running out to teach a fitness class. I teach kickboxing. She teaches high intensity interval training. So they get pretty hectic during the week around here. Plus, we're both teachers by day. So it gets crazy. Drew Bills is in the house. What's going on, buddy? How are you? Scotch for Dummies is going to be up in about an hour and 10 minutes time. Hope you guys are all doing well. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Andrew's saying Single Barrel Reserve, the Knob Creek Single Barrel Reserve is way better than the small batch. I guess there's a conversation about Knob Creek. Okay, so someone earlier said that the Knob Creek small batch versus JW Dant, not impressed with the KC. The Oak and Smoke Whiskey Reviews is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. One of the Jasons is in the house. Nice living room, Rob. Thank you. This is actually technically considered a great room, I guess you can say. In front of me is my kitchen, in front and to my right. And then behind me is my living room. Yeah. Where is your... Oh. Jeremy actually has I think he works till late or he has a game till late. I can't remember exactly, but he can't make it tonight. SC is saying, hey, Rob, happy Thirsty Thursday. Hey, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Richard Blancas is saying, this bottle was my crossover from bourbon years back. Very mouth-watering, sour apples, resembles Compass Box, Oak Cross to me. We'll rebuy. Cheers, compadre. Yeah, you know what? That's actually a great comparison. It does have that Compass Box light but very approachable type notes that I've become used to when I drink a Compass Box. So yeah, that's actually a great comparison, Richard. And just saying, have you cracked open that Teeling 16 yet? I'm thinking of picking it up as well. I got it poured out right here. It's just sitting. I've actually tried it once before this. Really, oh man, that nose is beautiful. I'm gonna grab the bottle so you guys can have a look at it. 1 second. So that's the Teeling 16 right there. It's a single cask, bottled exclusively for Kensington Wine Market, which is in Alberta. Just bourbon casks. Apparently, it's the same juice as what, if I'm not mistaken, it's the same juice is what they use for the pastries and sweet treats, SMWS. Actually, I don't know. That was a Bushmill, so I could be wrong. I don't know. Peter, what distillery does Teeling come from, and what distillery does Bushmill come from? Are they the same or are they different? I really like this Glenfiddich, honestly. I think I was being a little harsh at 84. I think I would easily bump that up to like an 85, 86. But I'll stick to my 84. I would say where it loses its most marks is on the finish, because it's kind of just like cut short and you don't get much. You have to really think about what you're tasting or let it sit for a while before you can really get that. Peter White saying will be the same as Tyrconnell 16. Okay, so you guys know how much I love that Tyrconnell. This is a cask strength version, I guess. Technically, maybe not as good a cask, or as good as the casks weren't as influential, I guess, because this seems really light compared to the Tyrconnell, but could be wrong. The Oak and Smoke with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate it. He's saying Glenfiddich 14 is a great intro to Scotch. I agree. Really nice stuff and really well priced. I think this is like $50 in the US, if I'm not mistaken, in most places. Maybe a little bit more. Sometimes less, I think you can get it for. Really nice. So Mark is saying Teeling used to be Cooley juice. I think it's changed now. But when this was produced 16 years ago, it was still technically Cooley juice. So yeah, Brent laying down the super chat. Around $50. Yeah, around $50 for the Teeling, which is a great price, in my opinion. You don't really get single malts for that price nowadays. So when you do, you got to take advantage. That's one of those ones you want to have on your bar, for sure. All right, going to stay with you guys for a little while longer. Pretty important game behind me. As you see, I keep looking back. The Leafs are playing Florida, fighting each other for that last playoff spot in the division. So, like I said, a pretty important game. Claire Third saying, going with the cheap whiskey tonight, very rare. Rob usually is balling out with the 400 plus. I don't know. Lately, I've been trying to be a little bit more conservative, trying to go back to the grassroots, find some gems. This is good stuff for the price. Honestly, like I said, it's $70 Canadian at the LCBO. And in my opinion, it's a great buy at $70. 14 years old. I think it's just going to get better because it's relatively new. I've only had 3 drams out of this bottle so far. So I do feel like there's potential for it to open up even more than it has. Yeah, so good stuff. I'm going to move to the Teeling. Bottle's pretty cool. Boxes or tin is pretty cool too. But I'm not going to mark this one. I just got it. This is my second pour out of it. And I'll probably be saving this review actually for nose is beautiful. For St. Paddy's Day. Leafs aren't going to make the playoffs. You're right. I mean, it doesn't feel like they will, but they should. They're technically in a playoff spot right now, so you never know. We'll see what happens. I have the Leafs game on too, hoping for a good result. You and me both, Brian. You and me both. So this Teeling right here is 54.6%, 16 years old. Bottled in October of 2019. So technically over a year ago, or no, technically a few months ago. um, good stuff. I really like it so far. No, McGregor's brand is like the proper 12 or whatever it is. So when I smell an Irish whiskey, I'm used to getting like a ton of like tropical fruit. I don't get a ton. I do get it, just not as much as I'm like expecting from a cask strength Irish whiskey. On the palate, you do not need a drop of water in this. It's so light at cask strength. Really nice. Nice sweetness. On the palate, you get the tropical fruit. I'm getting a lot of mango on the finish. Yeah, a lot of mango actually. That's cool. That's good stuff. I can only imagine this getting a lot better with time. So stay tuned, boys and girls. Did you say the Teeling is $60 Canadian for a 16-year-old? No. This was $150. I think I bought it on sale though. Actually, I got 10% off of it, I think. But it's that's Canadian. 150 Canadian minus 10%. I think that's well priced. 16 years old, cask strength, single cask. I don't think you're going to get much better than that. Natural color, unchill filtered, all that stuff. All the good stuff. So I've been meaning to, Mark. My brother bought a Teeling at the LCBO, one of the no age statements. I think he bought the single grain, not the single malt, and he loved it. He said he whistled through a bottle really, really quick. So I've been meaning to buy more Teeling, but I just haven't had a chance, to be honest with you. I try actually to just buy the stuff on clearance at the LCBO if I can, because they're relatively expensive. So. Jason Coates in the house. What's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. Yeah. Wow. The nose on this is getting better and better. I'm getting a bit of like cask char, which is weird, considering it's not very dark at all. Like that, the color on this is pretty light. It's like a pale hay. The Oaken Smoke is saying, have you had the Glendronach Batch 8 cask strength? If so, is it worth $80? I haven't. Honestly, the last Glendronach cask strength that I bought was, I think, batch 4, if I'm not mistaken. And that was good, but I wasn't blown away. So I kind of just decided to stop buying them because of that. Good stuff. Just maybe a little young. I'm not sure why they don't put an age statement on that. Call it a 10-year-old cask strength. I think they're not putting 10 years old on the bottle because there's like 5 or 6-year-old whiskey in there, but I could be wrong. But apparently some of the older stuff had like fairly old whiskey in it. So I don't know. I think Mark from Whiskey Whistle had an interview with the Glendronach ambassador, and he was saying that batch 2 or batch 4 or batch, I can't remember which batch exactly, had some whiskey from like 1991 in it. So it was like up to like 16 years old. Can't remember exactly. Check out Whiskey Whistle's reviews, mainly the ones on Glendronach, and you'll find how old those older ones were. But to the Oak and Smoke whiskey reviews question, I have not, and I will probably eventually revisit those. I heard the batch 8 is really good. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out the Oak and Smoke whiskey reviews. He's doing some really cool stuff. He's mixing it up. He's got bourbon, mainly, and then he goes to his scotch too. He's doing a great job. You guys got to check him out. Stills E is saying, "What's up, Whiskey in the 6, Glenfiddich 14, great bang for your buck." I agree, man. Really, really good stuff for the price. You cannot go wrong, in my opinion. I apologize for the constant looking back, guys. Thomas Buck is saying, "Rob, have you seen the new Compass Box Myth and Legend series?" I have. It's pretty much everywhere in Alberta, but we cannot buy at the moment from Alberta. So I haven't been able to purchase it. I'm not even sure if I'm going to, because there's like, what is it, 3 or 4 of them, and they're all pretty expensive. So I'll probably pass unless I hear really, really great things. Andrew is saying, "Is it malty or mostly grain?" This is single malt. This is a single malt, this Teeling. So it's really nice. Honestly, I haven't added a drop of water to it, and I don't think I ever will. It drinks really, really well at 54.6. I don't find it hot at all. I do think that the Glenfiddich primed me nicely for this because it's not overpowering. So this is like, I'm really getting that tropical experience that I want, although it's not like tropical fruit dominant like some of the old, like other Irish whiskeys I've had. Like Pastries and Sweet Treats was like all tropical fruit and like some crazy stuff. This one has a beautiful mango finish, and it's really sweet on the front end. I think Luis just scored, actually. Nice. Really sweet on the front end, really nice overall, but I'm going to give an official review in the near future. I might not be able to wait until St. Paddy's Day because it's really good stuff. Thomas Buck said 3 at 130 each. Is that are you talking about the Compass Box? Is it only 130 each? That's actually not bad. And it's only 3. That's not too bad. That's actually pretty decently priced, if that's the case. So I have a couple more reviews coming up next week, and then I got to get to some stuff that's been sitting on the shelf for a while. So on Monday, I'll be releasing a review of the Highland Park Valfather, which is the last of the trilogy of Valkyrie, Balknut, and this is the Valfather. And then on Thursday, if all goes well, I will be doing a live, and I will be featuring the Canadian Club 42-year-old. So, and then by when I review that, then I should be all caught up with kind of my stuff that I wanted to get done, and then I can kind of pick and choose with what's on the shelf. Richard Blanca saying, pulled out some Alexander Murray Black Label Glenallachie 13 first fill, single sherry cask, 60.7 ABV to chill with you. Big words. Yeah, honestly, that's all good stuff, buddy. Thank you. I'm trying to get my hands on some Glenallachie single casks. It's proving a little harder than I expected, but eventually, hopefully very soon, I will be able to get some. Jason Coates is saying they're 159 here, but still not bad for Compass Box. Yeah, you're right. That's actually a decent price. Probably a little bit cheaper because there's 3 of them. So most Compass Box buyers are buying the whole set. They're buying 2 of each so they can try one, or at least they're trying one some way, shape, or form, and then they're collecting the other. Compass Box has become highly collectible stuff. It's probably going to be one of those ones that we're going to look back at and wish we all collected, I think. Um, Multi Lot of Love is asking if I'm going to be reviewing the Ardbeg Black. If I get a chance to, I will, but it's very hard for us to get the committee release stuff. So I'm hoping I will get it, but I'm not holding my breath. Brent is saying, I've had the Glen Grant Alexander Murray 21 year and it was outstanding. That sounds awesome, buddy. That sounds awesome. Yeah, this is good stuff. I love Irish whiskey. Honestly, I'm starting to really love the stuff that nobody talks about. And everybody knows about Irish whiskey. Everybody seems to like Irish whiskey, but there's not a lot of reviews on Irish whiskey for the most part. I think Jason from Germany does quite a bit of Irish whiskey reviews, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, not too many people. The other one is Indian whiskey, like probably the most underrated country for whiskey making is Indian whiskey. It's absolutely phenomenal stuff, and not enough people are buying it. Not enough people know about it. And honestly, it's so easy to avoid because there's not enough reviews on it to actually promote it. Such good stuff though. Claire the Third saying Irish whiskey is for girls and Irish car bombs. All right, if you say so, man. Jason Coates is saying, love the Indian whiskeys I've had. Yeah, honestly, they're all awesome. Every single Indian whiskey I've had so far has been amazing. I haven't had a bad one. Thomas was saying that his YouTube was glitchy earlier, wasn't able to comment. What's everybody else drinking? I know probably you guys shared that earlier when I asked that question, but I'm going to really read these out now. I'm going to focus on the question I just asked. What are you guys drinking right now? Yeah, Brent, you got to get those Amroots, buddy. They're phenomenal. I have a Amroot that's in the running for 2020. Let's just say that. Still Z is drinking Glenfiddich 18. Brent is drinking Longmorn 16. Very nice, buddy. Terrence Scott is drinking Knob Creek 9-year-old. Very cool. Is that one of the 9-year-olds that is actually older? I wonder. Catherine Bono is drinking Morlock 14 Alexander's Way. I don't think I've ever heard of that, but it sounds awesome. Montalban JR or Junior is drinking Yellow Spot. Good stuff. Jason Coates is drinking blend of Springbank 15 and 12 cash strength. That's interesting. Do you find it's better than the regular? Is the sum better than its parts, or are the parts better than the sum? Richie Z, what's going on, brother? He's saying, greetings, Rob, my brother and whiskey friends. Mark Saliba saying, I'll be blind testing a few standard bourbons after the Leaf game. Very nice. William G is saying, drove 80 miles today to get my first bottle of Springbank, the 10-year-old. Thank you for the good recommendation. Oof, I love that 10-year-old, but 80 miles is a long way for that 10-year-old. I hope you like it, man. Alex is saying, evening, everyone. How are you, buddy? Go Habs drinking Tamdu 10 and Lefroy 10. That's an interesting mix. I wonder what would happen if you blended them. Catherine Bono saying, might be a travel exclusive. I see. Very cool. The Oak and Smoke. Brent is saying, nice, Jason. Jason Coates he's referring to. Kachan is saying, or Chain saying, Knob Creek small batch versus JW Dent. Not impressed with KC. So yeah, I remember you saying that earlier. So you're saying that the JW Dent is better? Alex is drinking Signatory Edward Dower. Beautiful. Edward Dower is another underrated one, although Ralphie kind of blew that up. I'm not sure. I think it's better than the 15, but rather just have the 12. Yeah, the 12 is amazing, man. Honestly, Jason, don't toy with the 12. Just drink the 12. I'm kidding, man. You do whatever you want. Robert Beagle saying 8.8 pH water, not home yet. Ah, very nice. How do you know the pH level of your water? Is that all water is 8.8? I haven't been in science, high school science in a long time. Jason Coates is saying just a little 1 ounce experiment. Sheng Yang is saying looking forward to your review on the Teeling. Yeah, me too. Honestly, I think this is just going to get better and better. It's really good where it's at right now. I'm actually really happy with this purchase. Thomas Buck just got home. Going to have to pour a Garrison Brothers. Which Garrison Brothers? Because I know where I can buy a couple Garrison Brothers, and I've been holding off. Maybe I will pull the trigger. Let me know how it is. Terrence Scott saying was disappointed by Springbank Cask 2019. What, like the 12 cask strength? Which one are you talking about? Richie Z is saying, do full bottles ever get to you? How about samples, brother? If anybody would like to send me something, basically what we've been doing is we've been using Jeremy's Michigan address. So if you guys feel the need to send us something to try, the best bet is to get it to us through Michigan, unless you're in Canada, of course. That's a different story. Jason Coates loves the Edderdauer. I do too. The 12-year-old is beautiful. One Last Cause. What's going on, brother? He's saying Bowmore Doris Moore 2. I've never heard of that one. Sounds pretty cool, though. The Oak and Smoke is saying, what's your thoughts on Kilhoman? I really like it. I think it's a little bit overpriced, in my opinion. The PX was really nice. The wine cask was really nice. I only did a few of them, to be honest with you, but everyone I've tried was really good, just not worth the price. I think you could find better for the price. Yeah. Cool. I think we're all caught up. Richie Z, thank you so much, buddy. Light oak. Again, he's saying, yes, surprisingly, I get light oak and granulated sugar from the Knob Creek small batch. I have had the Knob Creek single barrel, which was much better. I find Knob Creek to be very hit or miss, and I think that's just because they use a lot of single cask offerings, or the small batch is probably only a few casks. So because of that, they're going to be a little bit, sometimes they're going to be like a home run, and then other times they're going to be, strike out. But for the most part, I think they're doing a pretty good job in Knob Creek, in my opinion. Brent is saying, Rob, thanks for the shout out, buddy. My pleasure, buddy. You know what, guys? I'm going to wrap it up there just because I want to watch the last few minutes of this Leaf game, and I think you guys are tired of hearing my voice. We've almost gone 40 minutes anyway. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate you joining in. If you haven't already and you're just seeing this for the first time, hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. You guys can also hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. It's 44 people in the chat. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, guys. Hope you have a good night. Cheers.